What I'm trying to touch upon today is not going to be something very exhaustive. So we'll try and look at just the basic of nutrition and how it can help you strategically placed one day before your event. So what we can do today to make sure tomorrow is the best run and how you can recover after that. So to begin with, we all given 100% through the year, through the months for training. I'm sure Dan also agrees with that. Everybody will wake up and, the last 2-3 months are in full zing. You're all 5 o'clock a.m. and reaching for that run and long runs. But as much as your training is going to help you finish that run tomorrow, a lot of the diet is also substantially going to bring down those minutes. So not only is it going to help you before to run well, but also after to make sure the soreness is minimalistic, your recovery is better, and maybe in a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, you can again begin your run. So the basic fuel for running, uh, carbohydrates, yes, largely that is what is going to help. That is what we are going to talk about even today. A lot of this menu is also planned so that you all are loaded well for tomorrow. So you're looking at carbohydrate as a major source when you are running before, during, but post run you are definitely even going to give a lot of importance on your protein. As of now, I'm sure you want to understand more only about what to do today and before, and kal ka dekha jayega. After the run, you probably just want to load up and gorge. But we'll see what will be your best combination. So when you look at carbohydrates, you have two types of carbohydrates. One that is simple and one that is complex. When you say simple, in the literal sense, it is simple. It is simple for absorption. It is simple for digestion. It is simple for giving you energy. They are extremely fast absorbing carbohydrate. But when they are complex, as the term suggests, complex, it is difficult to break it is difficult to absorb, it is difficult to digest. Now, if the same talk I was giving somewhere for weight loss, I would tell them to completely neglect the simple carbohydrate. Even if I was giving a talk, say 6 months before for your marathon run, I would tell you do not concentrate on simple carbohydrates. But if you are running tomorrow, which you all are, simple carbohydrate becomes one of your most talked about nutrient because that is going to give you your instant energy. That is what is going to load up your muscles with glycogen, and that is what is going to last you during your run as well. But complex carbohydrate may be a good option just before the run. So your sources of simple and complex carbohydrates, so anything that you love to eat but are not allowed to eat in routine, is simple carbohydrate. So when you say sugar, honey, any of those, rice, fruit juices, glucose, all these things will come under simple carbohydrate. But the complex carbohydrate is the food that you keep on chewing and get tired of chewing. Okay, so that is going to be everything that is high in fiber. So most of your vegetables, a lot of your fruits, cereals that are whole grains, jawar, bajra, nachni, all this will come under complex carbohydrate. How does this simple carbohydrate help you when you're going to run tomorrow? So the idea is your body stores glucose in the form of glycogen in your muscle and your liver. Now, when you eat any kind of a simple carbohydrate, it will spike your sugar. This helps in releasing energy. While you are running, you are depleting a lot of your glycogen. And because you are depleting your glycogen, you need constant supply of glucose because glucose is your only source of energy. You're all with me? Okay. So glucose is your only source of energy. So consuming a good high carbohydrate diet today is going to help you load up the muscle and the liver slightly more than required. So there is a larger sustenance of energy when you are running tomorrow. But that is not going to help you finish the run as well. Somewhere in between that run, you will again need that dose of carbohydrate, especially simple carbohydrate, so you get the energy instantly. So if you look at an example, if, say, you're fainting, okay, the first thing, you have two forms of carbohydrate. The first thing that you will eat is a bajra ka roti or sugar with water and nimbu and salt. Sugar, right? So sugar is your instant source of energy. Even though bajra is a carbohydrate, it is not going to give you instant energy. It is a complex carbohydrate. So keeping that in mind, while you are running, you want instant energy, okay? However, after the run, everything that you have depleted, that is your liver glycogen, your muscle glycogen, your blood glucose levels, all need to get replenished. But maximum replenishment happens when you are going to take a little amount of protein along with it, because it helps in increased absorption. Now the protein, however, is also of different class. Okay, so there is a first class protein, there's a second class protein. If there are vegans over here, you all may not agree, like Venkat, he's not going to agree when I talk about dairy and non-veg, but you have vegetarian first class protein, you have non-vegetarian first class protein. Largely, most of your non-vegetarian, in fact, all your non-vegetarian sources, that is chicken, fish, red meat, all this, eggs, are first class protein. When I say first class, that means it has a complete profile of amino acid, fast absorb, providing maximum value to your body. Second class protein usually lack one or two amino acids. Okay, so your list of best proteins for a non-vegetarian or a vegetarian or a vegetarian are written over here. The vegetarian sources, your soy also acts as a good first class protein, but largely supplementation or dairy is going to be your best vegetarian. So supplementation in the form of whey protein. So after you have run, taking your simple carbohydrate along with the first class protein is going to help you rebuild your muscle and your glycogen level much better. So you need these two combinations together. The third important nutrient is going to be fat. Now, while you are running, glucose or glycogen gets used initially. It is later somewhere in the stage where fat starts getting used as a source of energy. But we do not talk about fat loading. Even though fat is used as a source of energy, we don't say consume fat. Consume fat because that is going to get used as a source of energy. That is because fat takes too much time to be broken down as a source of energy. When you start running, you are not using fat immediately. And by the time you start using fat, you're going to be too tired. So what you need is a little bit of combination of carbohydrate in the beginning and later allowing the body to use your fats as a source of energy. How much that is going to last you is going to depend upon how well trained you are. A well-trained runner can use the good quantity of fat as a source of energy. However, someone who is just beginning to run may not be able to use fat very well. Okay, so when we are talking about pre-meal, pre-day meal, all these things, we are concentrating on carbohydrate and protein. We are not talking about fat loading. We are not talking about fat for recovery because there is substantial amount of fat in the body and does not require external loading. Okay. However, your best sources of fat are going to be flax seeds, fish, if you all eat fish, nuts in the form of almonds and walnuts, and avocado. Yes, if you like avocado, and if you know we're not in Mexico, so we don't eat so much guacamole, but as and when if you want to consider it as a good source of fat. Water. We all know it's important. And there are very set guidelines for water. 15 minutes before, 20 minutes before, 2 cups, 1 cup. But you know, when you are running, I really want to know how much are you all able to clock water like this? Are you all able to take it every 20 minutes? Are you able to hold that cup and finish that water? It's just that, you know, as much as we know hydration is so important, clocking water as an intake is very, very difficult. Dan, you agree? You know, because we know, okay, it's 20 minutes and we need to sip, but we are so much involved in our running that suddenly hydration you realize while you are running. So you're thinking of your either your gel, or you're thinking of what time you're clocking, or you just the sheer pain in the body or the exhaustion where, water is coming somewhere fourth or fifth on priority while you're running. So the point I'm trying to make is drink water, but don't drink when you are only thirsty. Try consciously as much as you can. I know guidelines are set, but do what suits you. But remember, at the back of the head, you need to drink. If I had to scientifically tell you, then these are my guidelines. 2 hours before, 1 hour before, 15 minutes during, 20 minutes after. These are my guidelines. They are very well set. If you can follow this, nothing like it. But if you can't, just be conscious that you need to drink water constantly while you are running, especially if you have a tendency to sweat a lot. Not just what I'm talking about, electrolytes, sports drinks, everything. That's all what I'm talking about where fluids are concerned. So, the day before the marathon, that is today, strategically why we have placed this workshop today. Few points I want to give you all. Primarily, focus on carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is going to be a source of energy. Top up those glycogen stores, consume enough carbohydrates. But how much? How much of carbohydrate? Am I looking at eating 300, 400 grams of pasta? No. You are looking at consuming what you are eating in routine, little more than that. So if you were eating 2 chapatis, 4. If you are having 1 katori of rice, 2. But I am not telling you to have carbohydrate every 2 hours in a major quantity. Okay, so too much is definitely not too good. Reason? Carbohydrate, when stored as glycogen, requires water for its stability. And if you're going to have excess tomorrow morning, you're only going to feel heavier. And remember, what you eat has to even come out. So if you're going to eat too much today, you're going to face a problem tomorrow morning when you go to the loo before you run. So be careful. Don't eat too much where your stomach can't even handle the process of digestion. Please don't experiment anything new. Eat foods that you are used to eating. If it's a roti, it's a roti. It's a rice, it's a rice. Eat vegetables that you are used to eating. Don't try anything new. If you're sitting over here and if someone is telling you, no, I used to eat 5 boiled potatoes before my run, and if you used to do oats, please do not think that the boiled potato is going to suit you. As of today, one day before the event, don't keep any room for experimentation with any single ingredient. Okay? Make sure there is a moderate quantity of first class protein. Don't neglect it completely. A good combination is definitely welcome. So if you're looking at fish and rice, or if you're looking at curd and rice, or say pasta with a little bit of chicken, all these combinations are fine. Again, the menu today for lunch is based on these combinations. So please eat what suits your palate and appetite. Low fat. Like I said, there is no need to fat load. There is no need to eat fried foods just because fat gets used as a source of energy. The fat that you're going to eat is not instantly getting converted to energy tomorrow. Taper your meals till dinner. Like he said, I'm not saying no dinner. All I'm saying is, if you're running tomorrow morning, you don't need to eat a big, big dinner. Eat well. Keep the stomach little light. Don't sleep empty stomach, but you could do easier options. And this is not just for today, this would even be my advice in routine, but never will I advise to quit the dinner, okay? So load up your lunch, keep a little lighter snack, or a little heavier snack is also fine, but make sure that the dinner does not give you a very heavy load in the morning, okay? Alcohol is a no-no. It is not even served today. You're not even allowed to have it. So alcohol does not work. It does not work if you're running tomorrow, okay? Try and avoid very high fiber, okay? Thin dals or like a sambar is fine, but don't do black dal, chola, chana, rajma. Try and avoid high fiber vegetables or cruciferous vegetables. When I say cruciferous, it is your cabbage, broccoli. All these vegetables are gas producing. So you don't want to have where anything gives you a discomfort with flatulence unless you are used to it. But dals or pulses rather, I would definitely give it a ignore as of today. And load up on water as much as you can, especially your last meal of the day before you go to bed. Try and have as much water as you can. Please keep checking the color of your urine through the day. Make sure it is light yellow and not very dark. Don't be dehydrated today, because if you are dehydrated today, tomorrow is going to be worst. So keep on sipping. It is freely available over there. Keep picking up those bottles and keep drinking water. The night before, so we are talking of tonight. Limit high fiber and dairy. Now, I didn't get your name when you were talking to me. Kapasi. He was asking me about gluten, which I was trying to explain him that, has anyone heard of gluten? Yeah. So gluten is a protein that is present in wheat. Okay. Though gluten is it's not bad. Let's put it that way. Just like dairy, we all have an intolerance. A lot of people would not tolerate dairy. They would get a cramp or they would get a loose motion, very commonly known as lactose intolerance, scientifically proven. Gluten also has an intolerance. If you are allergic, then it's a disease called celiac disease. But if you're not allergic and it just gives you a little bit of upset, then you would want to avoid gluten. Similarly, dairy and fiber a day before. If you have any kind of issue with digestion, please avoid dairy and fiber to avoid any kind of diarrheal situations tomorrow morning. Fiber, purely because fiber stays in the stomach. It increases the volume, the bulk of the stomach and your stool. So you don't want to do too much because tomorrow is going to be early morning. So don't do too much fiber. Don't do a lot of salads. I'm completely contradicting what I say in routine. But don't do salads. Don't do loads of vegetables. Don't do a lot of whole grains. Eat simple fruits that are easy to digest, such as bananas. Eat vegetables that could be, like peas, or starch like potato. That is again easy to digest. Avoid fried foods. Don't stuff yourself. There is no need to have a pasta party tonight. Please eat minimalistic where dinner is concerned. You can definitely go and load up today on lunch with the carbohydrate. Keep the gut light. The lighter the gut, the easier to run. You will feel lighter while you are running. And then you can load up on the fluids as well. Fluids, when I say, I'm not just talking about water today. I'm even talking about your sports drinks, smoothies, milkshakes, buttermilk, lassi. All these things come under fluids. Even having shakes, fruit juices. Please try and involve them as much as you can, especially towards the end of the day. So not only do you feel full, there is a release energy, and it will also keep your stomach light. Plan for breakfast. That's what you need to do tonight before you go to bed. Make sure you know what you want to eat tomorrow morning. Keep everything. If it is oats or if it is fruits, please don't wake up wherever, if you are staying in a hotel or whether you are home, don't wake up to see, oh, there is no banana in the house or it is not ordered or whatever it is. Just make sure whatever is your routine pre-training program or protocol that you follow, similarly you follow that tomorrow morning as well. So make sure you have planned everything for yourself. And again, no alcohol. Now on the race day before the marathon, I know you all are runners before, so you all have your tried and tested options. Anyone who runs empty stomach? Empty stomach, huh? Choose not to eat anything. And you all are okay. Is it anxiety or is it just don't feel like having? Don't feel like having it. But once you start the run, you all begin with, your liquid protocols and sports drinks and everything, or even you are just on water? Sports drink and everything begins. Okay. So yeah, so they still last without eating anything. Okay. I would I'm not saying I'm recommending it, but if you've been doing that, then I suggest please don't follow this for tomorrow morning, okay? But I definitely suggest try during your training phase to eat something before your run. It's helpful, okay? It sustains you for the first 20, 30 minutes. Options would be usually foods that are either blended or soft, such as bananas, or having a little bit of oats with a fruit or strawberry. A couple of cookies could be a good option just before your race. Eat 2-3 hours before, so you will have to wake up. So wake up, eat. If you want to take a nap after that, take a nap. Catch a power nap, but wake up 2-3 hours and eat something beforehand. Okay. Once the race begins, then we'll again go to during the race. But before the race, try and avoid energy drinks. Stay hydrated. Do not overhydrate in the morning before the race. You will end up doing a lot of urination, which you don't want. Okay, so while you are standing there, and if you have guzzled 2 liters of water from the time you've woken up till the beginning of the event, it's not very advisable. So sip a little bit of water, 200, 300 ml, and then begin. Once you have started running, start your fluid protocols. Okay, try and keep meals bland, non-spicy. It's early morning, I'm sure nobody would want a very spicy meal anyways. And when you are at the start line, make sure that you've strategized everything. Figure out your strategy, what you are going to have during, whether everything is prepared, are you carrying it with you, what is going to be your strategy post-run for recovery. Make sure that it is there. If you are going to have water through your sipper, then your sipper should be available. If you're going to have it at every water station, aid station, make sure you know where they are placed and how they are routed. Once you start the marathon, you could be having sports drinks, sports gels, electrolyte water, advisable after 30-40 minutes to take it every 15-20 minutes, but don't be uncomfortable while you are consuming them. Make sure that when you are taking them, it has suited you even during your training. If you haven't tried something like this before, I would suggest please don't experiment it. There are few options I want to give for people, obviously, who do the full marathon. And once you've crossed that 5-8 kilometer mark or a 45-minute mark, if you are running empty stomach, I don't know if any one of you all get hungry. When I used to run, I used to get very hungry in between, you know, after 1-2 hours, the stomach would start wanting to eat something. And I usually used to keep marshmallows because it was a good sugar kick that I used to get when I used to have that. But you can keep dates, raisins, marshmallows, you can keep bananas. People have a tendency to sweat a lot. Few salted nuts, almonds, walnuts can be helpful as well. So you can just take care of a little bit of electrolyte along with your sports drinks. Drinks and gels. We all have tried. I hope so. Have we? No? Okay. Sports drinks, sports gels, both work very well. They are very scientifically designed. Consumption of it, just like water, as much as it is decided and scientifically proven, consume it where you are not uncomfortable. Please don't sip it because you're supposed to sip it. Sip it if you know that it is actually helping you and it has helped you in training phase. If you've never done a Gatorade or a GU gel, don't do it tomorrow morning. Especially gels, they don't suit you the first time. You need to figure out your protocol, when you need to take it, how you need to strategize them. So for a lot of people, after 45 minutes, the first gel goes with, 1 cup of water. For a lot of people, they may need it after 2 hours. So figure out, that is a training protocol. If you have done it before, the reason to put it here is, if you have done it tomorrow morning, make sure you are well accompanied with it. It is stapled or put wherever it has to be easily accessible, toned and consumed. Okay. Weather forecast. I just wanted to put this slide because I saw the weather last night and it says around 18-19 degrees tomorrow morning. So make sure you're well equipped. Whether I freeze, even at 22 in Bombay. So whoever is, sensitive to the temperature, I'm sure in training you must have acclimatized early morning by running. So this should save you the initial chills, but keep your jackets if you need in the beginning of the run, and make sure that you're hydrating before you start sweating. Okay, quick tips on hydration. Before, the day before, 30-40 minutes into the race, avoid spilling of water. If you are someone who tends to run fast and doesn't want to stop at an aid station, you can always use those water pouches that you get, that you can sip on them so it doesn't spill. Or when you are grabbing that water, try and cup it the top of the glass, so it will create like a funnel, so you can sip it from there. Okay, these tips help, because how many glasses are you going to carry while you're running. So try and pinch that cup, have it from that, so you don't spill a lot of it. You're getting a good 150-200 ml while you're running. Or just walk through the station if you are not competing any time, or carry those pouches or those sippers, whatever you're comfortable, but make sure you don't spill a lot of water while you're drinking. Don't drink too fast, sip patiently, don't guzzle it. Drinking water too much too fast is also not comfortable. Water or a sports drink is not comfortable for your stomach. Sports drink, it can be initiated even from the beginning, during, and definitely after. So that protocol also ideally should be just before the race. Gel can happen 30 minutes after, and then constantly having sports drink every 20-30 minutes. So your sample menu for Saturday. This is the guideline on which that is based. There is a carbohydrate, there is a starch, there is a protein, there are some thin dals, and there is some kind of sweet. Okay, so this is a general guideline of what I would ideally want you to eat from there. But again, if something from this does not suit you, I suggest please do not consume it. Your snack options for evening. You could do energy bars, you could do a sandwich, you could just do some fruits. I would avoid any fermented foods. Even though I have written idli over here, I actually mean a rava idli, something that is not fermented, because fermented food is also slightly heavy to digest. Dry fruits, the weather is good, you can eat a good quantity of dry fruits, going to keep your body warm, so having a cup full of all mixed dry fruit is not going to do any harm. And dinner option, I've tried to keep it light, okay? So having a little bit of pasta and a tomato gravy, or just some boiled noodles or an aloo sandwich, these options will help. Or just have some milk and cookies, or have some milk and cereal, even that is going to be a light dinner. Okay, again the point I'm trying to make is no need to have a pasta party. Once you're done with your race, this is going to be our recovery plan. Protein, carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, first few hours, instantly 1 hour, 1.5 hour, simple carbohydrate. So you're looking at sports drinks, gels, honey, sugar in any form. You can have this as instant recovery, along with a first class protein, which can be whey protein, eggs, chicken, fish. Any of this are going to act as good first class proteins. Once you've had that, 1-2 hours later, you can begin normal eating, which can have a regular combination of complex carbohydrate and protein. But the first 1-2 hours, I think you have the freedom to eat all form of sugars and candies. However, recovery does not mean you can simply eat more food. I've had clients who recover for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, they are 4 kgs up on my scale, but they think it is justified because they have run the full marathon. So please do not. Recovery is not a plan to just keep on eating as much as you want. It's 24 hours to max 48 hours. Beyond that, back to routine. Okay. For people who sweat a lot, determine what needs to be recovered. Electrolyte, fluids, very important. Don't ignore that fact. While you are taking the sugars and the candies and water, you need a lot of salt as well for recovery. So figure out, I'm sure you have known in your training phase what is required for recovery. Water along with some kind of electrolytes and a sports drink and some kind of protein. Though we know what we need for recovery, make sure your strategy and your plan is practical and approachable. It shouldn't be that you've run the marathon and after 2 hours you've reached home and till then you've not had anything. Okay, so whatever is your recovery requirement, make sure you're either carrying it or it is available to you after your run. All the best. Don't hit the wall. Questions? Want to take them later?
Yeah, any questions she can take right now?
Yeah. Tell me. Right. Oh, you don't get them very easily over here. Anyone gels? Dew is not available. Yeah, you don't get them very easily. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes? During the race, of course, there are chances of overhydration. We tend to think that, we need, and we keep on having and resulting into hyponatremia. So, your sodium may drop. So again, that is why a guideline. So have around 150 ml every 20 minutes after 30-40 minutes in your race. So you are not tending to overhydrate. Yeah. I think Dr. Contractor will take that. But borderline diabetes, while you are running, you are using the body glucose, but it has to be well monitored. You have to, work very closely with people like this. So you need to know when you need to have that sugar, when you need to drink it, so you don't get into hypoglycemia and don't faint. So. Yeah. No. You can do a combination of both. After few sips, the energy drink also you start feeling too sweet. Practical experience. So you just want to wash it down with water. So you can do a combination of both. And ideally, I would want you to do a combination of both. And someone who is doing gels, I would definitely recommend with the gel plain water rather than having a sports drink. Absolutely. Yeah, and also see how you feel. Now, if you feel you're lacking the energy, then have the sports drink. If you feel you're comfortable and you're not dipping so much, then drink your water. Have the fluid, wash your mouth a bit, and feel better to take the next sip. No, not whenever you want to. If you have the tendency to sweat a lot, then yes, a salt tablet or a pinch of salt or having salted nuts will be helpful. But if you don't have any such tendency, just having a sports drink which has sufficient amount of sodium or other electrolytes is substantial. You don't need extra salt. No, there's no ratio. There is no compulsion that you have to have water. It is my practical experience that I feel that after having a lot of sports drink, if you're running for 3 hours, it gets too sweet. And everything is sweet. You're taking the marshmallow, you're taking a date, and you're taking the sports drink. So just to wash the mouth a bit, to take a plain water is definitely helpful. So there is no scientific ratio to that. So see, again, we'll have to work a lot on that to know whether you sweat and do you tend to get a... Works. Half an hour, 40 minutes, yeah? Halfway down. Even that's okay. But usually, you should begin a little before you actually start sweating or start depleting. So even sports drinks, etc., take it. Say, if ideal recommendation would be after 40 minutes, I would say begin at least at 30 minutes. So there is a supply already before you've gone depleted. Yeah, so a little before would be helpful, 20-30 minutes before.
Okay, let me budge in and eat rest of the questions myself because we are getting late for the lunch and the rest of the session will get delayed.
Okay.
Anybody last question? Yes, please.
Yeah, so cramping is a combination of training, number one. If you know you're not well trained, you are going to cramp, right? Okay. Electrolytes, sodium, potassium, chloride, and hydration. If you sweat a lot, cramping could be because of that. If you're not well trained, cramping could be because of that. Solution to cramping is just wait it out till the cramp settles. Instantly, you'll just have to have sports drink and you'll have to figure it. Water, hydrate, sports drink, and see how much time it is taking. But you can solve this problem not on the race day. You can solve it only in your training phase. Right?
Thank you,
Thank
Kinita,
you.
and all
Thank
the
you.
best.